Welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm David Pavey. The media have been reporting a lot of Me Too stories recently. So let me share with you a true Me Too story. No, not the kind of Me Too story that you'll hear on the evening news or read in the newspaper. It was 1989, and our son John was about to graduate from Wheaton College in Illinois. He would then move to Colorado Springs to begin ministry with Young Life, a Christian outreach to high school students, while simultaneously pursuing an MA by extension with Fuller Seminary. That was all well and good, but John would need someone to share an apartment with him. How could he find such a person? The end of his final semester at Wheaton was fast approaching, with no solution on the horizon for his anticipated housing needs in Colorado. John's last final exam was a take-home exam, so he decided to write it in the college library. There he found a desk, put down his books, papers, and cap, and focused on the task in hand until it was completed. The hat had Steamboat Springs written on it, a celebrated ski area in Colorado. It was a reminder of the mountains and the great outdoors which John loved. He looked forward to being far from the flatlands and to enjoy the view of Pikes Peak. So, with the exam out of the way, John turned to another student nearby, whom he had seen but didn't know, and whispered, "I've just finished the last page of the last exam of my last course at Wheaton College." The other student said, "Me too." Then looking at the cap, he asked, "Have you been to Steamboat Springs?" "Of course." "Me too." "I love Colorado." "Me too." "By the way, my name is John." "So is mine." "Actually, I'm moving into Colorado Springs very soon." "Me too, I'm going to Colorado Springs." "Me too." "I'm going to work for a Christian organization." "Me too." "I'm going to need a roommate." "Me too." And that was the beginning of a friendship that has stood the test of time for 3 decades so far. John and John shared an apartment in Colorado Springs for 3 years until both moved on to the next phase of ministry. In 1992, the other John wrote to my wife and me to thank us for the privilege of having shared 3 years of his life with our son, John. And it all started with a ski cap with Steamboat Springs written on it. Our Me Too story is a wonderful reminder of God's gracious blessing and his provision. You may remember the story of Jacob in the Bible, who also was leaving home, when he became aware of God's presence and provision in a very special way. On his 3rd night out on the 400-mile journey north from Beersheba to live with his uncle in Upper Mesopotamia, he stopped for the night because the sun had set. And using a stone for a pillow, he lay down to sleep and had a dream in which he saw a ladder resting on the earth with its top reaching to heaven and the angels of God ascending and descending on it. And there above it stood the Lord, who said, "I am the Lord, the God of your father Abraham, and the God of Isaac. I am with you, and will watch over you wherever you go, and I will bring you back to this land." When Jacob woke from his sleep, he thought, "Well, surely the Lord is in this place, and I was not aware of it." He called the place Bethel, the house of God. He realized that God wasn't territorial. He was as active in the hill country as he had been in Beersheba. Life would not be just a round of secular duties. Life would be an adventure with God. Everywhere there would be a ladder rising to the presence of God, even though not visible to the naked eye. You know, life is not just a monotonous cycle of work and sleep, nor is it just a playground, a trivial and tiring Disney World. Life is Bethel, a continual awareness of the ever-present God. Everywhere the ladder stands, everywhere the angels go up and down, and everywhere God watches over those who trust in Him. This changes how we do life. The story is told of two men who were working on the construction of St. Paul's Cathedral in London. This was back in 1685. When asked what they were doing, one answered, "I'm sloshing around in this rain and mud trying to earn enough to put food on the table." The other exclaimed, "I'm helping Sir Christopher Wren build St. Paul's Cathedral for the glory of God." They were both doing exactly the same work, but only one sensed the presence of God, Bethel. John's Me Too experience was evidence of God's care. Today, take courage, because surely the Lord is in this place. He was there for Jacob, He was there for John, and He's there for you. And He's there for me too. And thank you for tuning in once again to Village Church Connections.